Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Laura, I just emailed you the email I sent you yesterday with the cash schedule.
Okay. I have the cash schedule and I have the general ledger. Should that do it? I got that out of, well, the one you sent today, 9 hours ago.
Okay.
Good, I need to watch it yesterday. I have what you sent me. I did print that off.
Okay.
And then the one from me. Hopefully what I have is what I need.
Okay.
And the general ledger is not the same disbursements as I have on June 30th.
Say that again, Laura. I didn't hear you.
The general ledger that I have has disbursements for June as 122, 421, 62.
Okay.
On the general ledger detail.
Okay.
I think she can, but she's not listening.
Okay, you can hear me, right, Linda?
I can, but it also includes the debits, which I believe is on the next page too. Those are all the disbursements.
Yeah, the 1127.84.
I don't have it in front of me, Laura. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it's the expenditures for both the checking account and the debit account. Those two added together total the
Glenn,
total.
can you hear us at all?
I can hear you.
We're trying to start the meeting.
Okay. Laura, okay.
Guy, can you hear anything? Because if you're talking, we're not hearing anything.
I can't hear him at all.
We can hear you great.
But we can hear everybody else.
No, I can't hear because can everyone hear him? I can't hear him.
All right, I just spoke with Glenn. He's actually going to back out of the meeting and then sign back in and just see if that helps.
Yeah,
Okay.
Glenn and Guy are kind of so vague.
It sounds like they're in Maine. That wasn't very nice. I'm sorry.
That sounded true. They even look like they're in Maine.
I think it would, this is Barbara, I think it would help if everyone who's not talking mutes their microphone. We're
Mute.
getting a lot of
Yeah.
extraneous noise.
Barbara, you always make too much sense.
Linda, mute.
Okay, hold on. I got to get back in.
up our gain or something a little bit?
Microphone?
Yeah, try that.
No, right up, we're the same, good. Not rename, okay, nothing here, it's 100% volume.
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is
Oh,
I'm joining on my phone right now.
yeah,
This will work flawlessly, I'm sure. Okay? Joining. Close that. Okay. I'm gonna try the Alexa.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me, Holly?
Yes, I can.
That was a yes. Okay.
All set.
Okay. 30 seconds, guy, and I can come back to this computer.
okay, can anybody hear me?
No.
Heard you that time, Guy.
Okay, very good,
Hear you now.
I'm on my own computer.
Okay, we can hear you now, Guy.
Okay, very good, and I hopefully there's not any feedback. So I will call the meeting of the Montezuma Regional Planning Commission for Thursday, July 15, 2021, 7 p.m. To order. First item on the agenda is introductions, so I'll try that just to make sure we have it. Lynn Butland.
Here.
Barbara Yocum.
Here,
George Gahale. I know, great, I know Glenn is here, and Guy Corbusero's here. Jacqueline Doherty.
Here.
Jessica DeRoy, I'm sorry.
Here.
John Telepiak.
John Slepsiak here.
Okay, Karen Chapman.
here,
Laura Schifrin.
Here.
Linda Quinlivan.
Here.
Matthew Brenner.
I'm here.
Robert Schwartz. We know he's here. Roger Hoyt.
I'm here.
Okay, Sean Copeland.
Here.
Stacy Donahue.
Here.
And Veronica Kell.
Here.
And then I missed on the organizer, Brad Harris
Here.
and Holly Ford.
Here.
So those are all the participants. Probably was a bit redundant since it's being recorded, but it's part of the process. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the June 3rd, 2021 MRPC minutes. Everybody should have received the minutes. I know Holly sent them out last Friday. So if anybody has any additions, corrections, any comments on it,
Guy, this is Barbara. I have a suggestion.
yes, Barbara.
On page 11, section 5.7.4, these are the staff promotions, additional compensation. The other three employees are all called out by name. For this particular, it's the GIS and IT director. It's just referred to as employee. I think that's Jason Stanton, isn't it?
That's
Holly,
correct.
did you?
That's correct. It
Yeah,
was just copied from the meeting minutes, notes, but I can make that correction.
Okay, yeah, I think to be consistent, it would be good to have his name in there.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Thank
great,
you.
thanks.
Thank you, Barbara, for picking up on that.
You're welcome.
At least you know she reads them. Anybody else have any comments?
This is John Flepsiak. I would like to move, accept those minutes with the corrections as noted.
Okay, great. We have a motion to accept the minutes with corrections. Do I have a second?
Bob Schwartz, second.
Okay, and a second by Bob Schwartz. And I will call the roll for approval of the minutes. Lynn Butlin,
Yes.
Barbara Yelkin,
Yes,
Jacqueline Doherty,
Yes,
Jessica DeRoy.
Yes.
Okay, John Telepiak,
Flepsiak, yes.
Laura Schiffrin,
Schifrin, yes.
Schiffrin, I'm sorry. My eyes are getting old and screen's getting smaller. Okay, Matthew Brenner,
Aye.
Robert Schwartz,
Yes.
Roger Hoyt,
Yes.
Sean Copeland,
Yes.
Stacy Donahue,
Yes.
Veronica Kell.
Abstain.
Okay, and the chair, Guy Corpusero votes yes. So the minutes are accepted. Excuse me for 1 second while I get the hard copy of the agenda. That's one of the great things about being back here in the office, even if it's Glenn and I have a hard copy. Okay, very good. Next item is the cash schedule. Laura, are you ready to take over this part of the meeting?
Yes, I can. Thank you,
Oh.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, it's all yours.
Okay. As of this meeting, we're looking at June 1st to June 30th. Our total opening balances are $493,912.87. On our receipts for the month total $98,180.10. And the cash on hand before the warrant is $592,092.97, less the amount of the warrant of all the cash disbursements, which is $222,513.34. Balance after this warrant is $369,579.63. And those are all in 5 different accounts, mostly with Enterprise Bank. Again, that total is $396,579.63. The payroll for this period was $126,531.18. And then the cash debits and cash disbursements totaled the $95,982.16. And so the balance ends up at, for the total expenses of $222,513.34. I was able to take a look at the general ledger, which basically encompasses that $95,982, which Linda was kind enough to send to me. And it looks okay to me for the various expenses being, for the most part, insurances. and office supplies, and then subscriptions and the like. So, Mr. Chairman, if you are okay with it, I'll entertain a motion to accept the cash schedule subject to audit.
Okay, does anybody want to make the motion, or do they have any questions, or?
I make a motion, this is John Tlopsy. I make a motion, we accept it, subject to audit.
Okay, we have a motion by John. Do we have a second?
Bob Schwartz, second.
Thank you, Bob. Any questions on this from any of the members? Okay, if not, I'll call the roll for acceptance of the cash schedule. Lynn Butland,
Yes.
Barbara Yocum,
Yes.
Jacqueline Doherty,
Yes.
Jessica DeRoy,
Yes.
Don Telepiak,
Tlopsiak, yes.
Laura Schifrin.
Laura Schifrin, yes. And thank you, Linda, for all your assistance.
Okay, great. My pleasure. Matthew Brenner,
You're welcome.
Aye.
Robert Schwartz,
Yes.
Roger Hoyt,
Aye.
Sean Copeland,
Aye.
Stacy Donahue,
Aye.
and Veronica Kell.
Aye.
Okay, very good. The cash schedule is accepted unanimously. Okay, next item on the agenda is administrative matter. This is usually Glenn's. I know I have some feedback coming from somebody, whether it's Glenn's. Glenn, are you on? No, I don't. Glenn?
I'm here now. The only person I saw was Bob. That's not unmuted. And Guy and me now.
Okay, very good. But we can hear you. So do you want to take over the administrative matters part?
Happy to do so, Guy. No problem. Thanks. So item 4.1 is I've been keeping an office update on the agenda every month. So we reopened with the employees this past Monday. We're back to normal operations. Let's see. So yes, Guy indicated earlier we're trying a hybrid tonight. So commissioners are invited here again in August. And I don't have the date for the August meeting, but it should be the first Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. And so it was nice to kind of clear out the cobwebs for tonight. And at the end of that office update, it says, you know, hey, if COVID or something else happens, we'll close the office to protect public health and public safety. So that's the end of 4.1. 4.2 with the H48, the legislation to protect the RPAs from contributing to the state retirement. That legislation is still working its way through the legislative infrastructure. 4.3 was just a short update on the block grant program that went to Shirley, Lunenburg, Royalston, Townsend, and Westminster. So we're still struggling to get business grants out there. I talked to Winchendon, they're struggling too. This is kind of a statewide issue, so we're still trying. We're not going to give up. This grant ends December 31st of this year. We're just going to keep on plugging away. 4.4 is an update to strategic planning with the office reopening and the 3 staff transitions we're going through over the last 4 weeks. There's not been a lot of time to do strategic planning. If it's okay, Mr. Chairman, 4.6 talks about MEC, and then 4.7 is other. And then I'll go back to 4.5 because that's the budget stuff, and then I'll refer you to another document. So 4.6 is the MEC update. We'll hold a board of directors meeting by September per the MEC's bylaws. 4.7 is other administrative matters. I didn't have anything under other tonight. I tried to, or I did spend more time on the budget revision. So under 4.5 it says, budget revisions, approvals of commissioners' requested revisions to the FY22 budget adopted in June will be reviewed and will be presented and discussed, requested by vote of the commissioners tonight. Items of interest include an update to potential revenue sources, the elimination of a contract with a corresponding reduction in staff, the submission of additional grant proposals submitted within the last 4 weeks, the replacement of the former planning and development director, and then any corrections to salary figures and related financial matters. So if you're on the screen now and you have the handout up, I would recommend that you go to a budget report of the ED. I'm going to hold it up to the camera. It looks like this. If you pull up that PDF, give you a few seconds to do that. And Guy, you have a hard copy, pull it up on your, and I know Brad's doing, pulling up the PDF for everyone now. Thanks a bunch, Brad.
Right, that's coming up on the phones too.
I didn't hear
Glenn,
that.
that is on our phones.
It's coming up on the phones, is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay, good. That's good.
at least mine.
Good, it's so, okay, so.
Glenn,
it's
did I have the right PDF up?
We're going to get to that one, Brad, but I need a word processed document that says budget report of the executive director, and it looks like this. So give you a visual back, and then we'll go to that.
I don't have that one. Give me a second and I will see if I can find it.
Sure. Let me double check. So I'm in the, Brad, I'm in the where my files are located, and it says FY22 budget update 7/15/21.
What I see is the long spreadsheet, the very long one that you had me save this afternoon.
Did you refresh your screen, because it's uploaded and it's there on mine. Worst case scenario, I can just send it to you really quickly while I just summarize this. It's a summary basically.
Okay, in the commission meeting handouts.
Yeah, I've got the commission meeting materials folder up for the July 15th meeting, and there should be 6 PDFs in there.
Yep, and it's the budget update 7/15/21.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Glenn, I show both of those as being the same document, and it's not the one you're holding up.
Okay. Bear with me, people. I'm sorry. Brad, I've got the right one. I'm going to email it to you. I'm going to Teams it to you real quick. You can do it, and then I'll start summarizing, okay? Because I'm on my 4th laptop this week, and I'm going to call you up in Teams and send the document to you. Budget update. Send. All right. Now, what I just sent you, Brad, hang on, what I'm sending you now, because I didn't hit the send button yet. I'm also going to open on my end to make sure it's the right one. Nope, it's not. Okay, folks, I don't know why. I'm just going to give you an update. Sorry for the delay. I don't want to burn or waste your time. So Brad, please keep that on the screen. That's fine. That budget table, that's the revenue. We're going to get to that anyway, so you can find that.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's perfectly fine, because I want to end on that spreadsheet. So I'll just read it. I'll read it verbatim, and then Holly, what we'll do is for the minutes, we'll just say that Glenn read this report. We'll copy and paste it into the minutes. Okay. Budget report of the Executive Director, July 15, 2021. Highlights of the FY22 budget revisions proposed for this evening's meeting include the MART Transit Planning Contract, and there are 4 sub-bullets. For the FY21 MART Transit Planning Contract, MART did not pay the MRPC the required overhead rate of 133% for the fiscal year that just concluded, instead only paying the MRPC for its services at an overhead rate of 90%, which led to a financial loss of this organization. Depending on how we calculate it, it could be $10,000 or $11,000, it could be over $28,000. The second sub-bullet is in June 2021, MART proposed to pay the MRPC at the same overhead rate of 90%. Third sub-bullet, the executive director decided not to sign this contract for FY22 due to the financial loss experienced in FY21. The bottom line here, folks, if I keep signing contracts like that, we're going to go out of business. It may or may not be an audit finding in the future. And, someday if I keep signing contracts where we have financial losses, you'll find a new executive director. So those are the reasons behind this decision. The fourth sub-bullet, as Mark contract pays for the lion's share of the transit project director's salary, the executive director had to lay off this individual and eliminate the position from the FY22 budget. There is a budget figure in the FY22 budget for this position. It reflects the amount paid to the transit project director for salary through July 16th and leave time benefits accrued per the MRPC personnel policies and employee procedures handbook as amended. The next bullet after Mark, we had two other staff departures in June, one in administration and the other in planning and development. In administration, it was the administrative and human resources director. In planning and development, it was the planning and development director. Sub-bullet, the administrative and human resources director retired and her workload has been picked up by the executive director, fiscal director, and administrative manager. The third bullet for this quick summary, due to the vacancy created by the outgoing planning and development director, MRPC posted the vacancy and interviewed an internal candidate, Ms. Karen Chapman, in accordance with the MRPC personnel policies and employee procedures handbook as amended. Sub-bullet, the executive director recommends the promotion of Karen Chapman, currently a senior planner within the planning and development department at MRPC, as the new planning and development director. The applicable resolution follows. I'll read it for the record. Resolution, be it resolved that the Montezut Regional Planning Commission hereby accepts the promotion of Ms. Chapman to the position of Planning and Development Director commencing Sunday, July 25th, 2021, and that she be compensated at an annual salary of $78,000, and that based upon a successful performance review in 6 months from now, her salary then be increased to $81,700, starting on the first payroll period following the meeting of the commissioners to be held in 6 months, which is January 6th, 2022. A quick note to Karen. Karen, it was a lot more wordy what I read to you earlier this afternoon before you left. That laptop failed when you left the room. And, so that was the second laptop for the week. And I rewrote it and stuck to the heart of the matter. Hi, Karen, I hope I didn't miss anything, but those were the key components, I believe. If this motion is motioned and then seconded, and if it's on the floor, then if you have any comment, then Guy can ask you. Okay, I just wanted to tell you though, because it's slightly different than it was before.
Okay, thank you.
No problem, Karen. You needed to know right away, and this is the third laptop I used, and Guy's over there with the fourth one. So it was a 4-laptop meeting this week. There's a second page to this. It's about budget revisions that I'll explain on the spreadsheet that Brad has kindly put up to our right, but we're not there yet. So we can get there in a few minutes. So I've read the resolution, Mr. Chairman. It's back to you. I'm going to mute myself, and it's up to you to do with as you please, and the commissioners, if you please.
Excuse me, Glenn, this is Barbara. May I ask a question? Who is the outgoing planning and development director?
John Hume.
John left last month.
Yes.
Was that unexpected?
It's a personnel matter that I can't discuss, and we all wish John well.
Okay, thank you.
The ball's back to you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, you're muted. I can hear you in the building, but I think you're muted.
Computer's messing up. Okay, let's get here. You can tell him I'm working on it, John. I mean, Glenn.
Everybody can hear you now, John. You're okay, sir.
Oh, Glenn. Guy. Okay, there we go. Now we're on. I don't know if you could hear me because I was hollering, but we have a motion on the floor, a resolution that Glenn would like somebody to move. I know Barbara, before my computer got out, had a question. What was your question?
My question was that what was the name of the outgoing planning and development director? And Glenn said John Hume. I asked if it was an unexpected departure, and he said it's personal and we're not going to discuss it.
Okay, very good.
I could just say, I think Glenn meant to say personnel matter. Is that correct, Glenn?
Yes, it absolutely is. My apologies. Personnel, NNEL at the end, not NAL. My apologies. Thank you for clarifying, Roger. And Barbara.
Okay, great, great. So do I have anybody that would like to move the resolution making Ms. Chapman Planning and Development Director?
Mr. Chairman, this is
Yeah.
Laura Shane, and I would like that honor of making that resolution.
Okay, very good. It's moved by Laura. Do I have a second? And then we ask for discussion.
This is
second that.
Veronica Cal. I will second that motion.
Okay, very good. We have Veronica. Now, do we have any questions in regards to this resolution? I do, Glenn, if you're still there, curiosity, just why 278,000 and then 81,000 in 6 months? I mean, what was the logic there, or is there something behind that? I mean, a reasoning.
Yep, I can give you the reasoning. So since I took the helm over a decade ago, we've been implementing a practice where there are several variables, and I'll give them all to you. In the past, if a promotion happened, sometimes a promotion would happen, early in the fiscal year, and this is pretty much one of those early in the fiscal year promotions. What I like to do is when I promote someone is assess them after 6 months. It's not a probationary period, but to make sure that they're successful in the job before we give them up to the number that the prior person was making. That's the bottom line. So it gives us an opportunity to assess every individual who gets a promotion to make sure that the number works. Now, in past cases with other people, no, we haven't done this. I trust Karen emphatically. She's been doing a lot of the job already, and but it's just something that I want to implement more as we go forward. Also, to make sure that we're okay with people. Karen's going to do fine. She's been doing fine for the last 4 or 5 years. I always say 4 or 5 because I always screw up her date that she started. And she's been towing the line and doing a lot of the job already. So I'm very, very sure that she'll be fine. But it's just a test period. That's all.
Mr. Eaton?
Okay, very good. Thank you, Glenn. Any other questions? If not, I'll call the roll.
This is Barbara. I have a question. I just would like to acknowledge that John Hume was a longtime employee of Glenn. How long was he working with MRPC?
It was over 20 years.
Yeah, and call out to John. He did some real quality work in that time, and I think we should acknowledge that.
Mm-hmm.
But I also would like to acknowledge that Karen, I think, is going to do a fabulous job, and it's a great choice.
I agree. Now, I should say this for the record, that when I write stuff down and I recommend it in a resolution, if the commission was to decide they don't like that number at 78 and they want to go to 81.7, that's your call. We're just staff. We put things in front of you and you vote on them. And I heard the emphasis in Laura's, I want to be the first to make the first on that one wholeheartedly. So this is for your discussion.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
I was done.
Jacqueline. This is Jacqueline Doherty. I just had an emergency. Someone was just in my household, was just in an accident. I have to go to the emergency room, so I just wanted to let you know that I have to step out.
Oh, absolutely.
I apologize.
I
Good
hope
luck
you're-
with that, Jacqueline.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. I have the motion and resolution, and thank you for your comment, Barbara. Any other comments? I hear a little static from somebody, but.
John and Bob, could you mute, please?
Yeah, I thought we were about to vote.
Okay, I will call the roll if I don't hear anybody else. Lynn Butland,
Yes.
Barbara Yocum,
Yes.
Jessica DeRoy,
Yes.
John Telepiak,
Yes.
Laura Schifrin.
She voted yes. Her computer died.
Oh, okay, very good. Matthew Brenner,
Yes.
Robert Schwartz,
Yes.
Roger Hoyt,
Yes.
Sean Copeland,
Yes.
Veronica Kell,
Yes.
and Guy Corbacero votes yes. So the resolution is passed unanimously. I guess now we'll hand it back to you, Glenn.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, yes.
it's Karen Chapman.
Yes, Karen.
I just wanted to thank you all for your confidence and your support.
Well, great. And I know you'll come up to the standards and more.
Well,
Thank
thank you.
Okay, very good. Back to you, Glenn, unless anybody else wants to speak on the subject. Did we lose Glenn?
No, I'm here. I just wanted to pause in case anybody else had any comments, Mr. Chairman. That's all. Okay.
The funny part is that Glenn being in the other room, when I'm not sure if the microphone's working, I just holler.
We're okay, Guy. Good point. I will say that Karen won't meet expectations. She's going to far exceed them. And the last thing I'll say, is Karen still with us or did she leave us? Sorry, I don't see her at the moment.
You can
she's
talk
still
about
with-
me. Go ahead.
No, it was something nice. When your camera was on, I just wanted to say, I want to be where you are. You're like in a nice outdoor with a red barn behind you. And maybe I do want to be in the air conditioning. Mr. Chairman, I'll finish the budget stuff. Congratulations, Karen. It's well deserved.
Thank you.
Okay, budget revisions for the overall, Brad reads my mind. Thanks, Brad. Thanks a lot. Budget revisions. So I'm going to give you a summary that I wrote. Again, I'm just going to read it word for word. The bottom line here is we had to make a few revisions with you take out the MARC contract, you have to reduce staff accordingly. We've made some revisions to, there's a promotion tonight that's baked into the budget as well. And the deficit went down a little bit. Those are the highlights. So if you want to listen to every word, but I'm going to say now, those are the highlights, but I'm going to read every word now. FY22 budget revisions report. Budget adjustments have been made, including the deletion of the MARC transit planning contract and the reduction in corresponding staff, and all salaries for all employees have been included in this evening's presentation. This should have been presented in June. I neglected to put in the salary table, which we'll show you in a minute. Brad, what we're going to do when I get to the spreadsheets, I'll ask you to pull up the salary table, which you can do now, sir, because I'll do that, and then we'll back up to this one, this table that you're showing now. So thanks a bunch, Brad. The second paragraph, 3 additional grant proposals have been submitted since the last meeting of the commissioners. The individual amounts would be about $49,000 that MRPC would get if a state DPH COVID contact tracing grant with Fitchburg and the Montechusett Public Health Network is awarded. So I worked with the health director, Steve Curry in Fitchburg, and we put the proposal together, and then Steve submitted it on the 29th or the 30th of June. The other grant, huge kudos and credit to the Transportation Department. They submitted a $500,000 RAISE, R-A-I-S-E grant. Brad, I'll ask you in a few minutes if you would talk about that a little bit more, because I can't define RAISE. Submitted by the Transportation Department, and $30,000 as a part of a larger grant amount and proposal submitted by Growing Places to the USDA. Brad, could you summarize RAISE while I get a sip of water? And then I'll mute myself and come back, okay?
Sure. RAISE is a grant opportunity program announced by the US DOT. They had a deadline of submissions by July 12th. They could be planning grants or actual construction projects, capital projects. We put together 2 proposals. The first application is to do a regional climate change vulnerability assessment and a regional climate resiliency plan for the entire 22 communities. We're asking for $500,000 for that. With that, we plan to hire a consultant to do the vulnerability analysis assessment for all the communities, and then from there move on to the resiliency plan. We anticipate about a 2-year program for that. The second submittal was to do a feasibility and design examination of a potential Route 2 interchange, the construction of a new interchange on Route 2 at South Athol Road in Athol. This has been a topic of discussion in the town for a while. We actually did a sort of feasibility study a couple of years ago on it. It did show that you could, there'd be benefits to the addition of the interchange. However, there are questions related to environmental issues and design issues that we didn't have the expertise to do. So this grant, which would be also $500,000, will allow us to hire a consultant to go out and conduct a look at the environmental conditions and the contours and see if a design could be implemented there. Again, it's a 2-year program. We anticipate the first year we'll look at that feasibility, and if it proves possible that something can be put in there outside of any major environmental impacts, the second phase would require them to work with the town to put together a proposal through the TIP process for federal funding for the construction of the interchange. If at the end of the first year there's major environmental problems and design issues can't be worked out, at least to give a final answer to the question of whether an interchange could be put there and would settle the issue for the town of Athol. So those are the 2 applications that are in, and I believe the timeline indicates probably in November they'll be looking to make some announcements.
Okay.
Great. Brad, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. So after those 3 grants have been submitted, I do want to make a point that none of these grant applications have been included in the FY22 budget. We don't do that. We don't write a grant and then put it in the budget and then hope it'll come in. We write a grant, we hope it'll come in certainly, but then as our auditor has suggested many years ago, and we follow this practice, if there's a 90% certainty of an award of a contract, state, federal, local award, or through a nonprofit, that's when it lands in the budget on the revenue side. So I just wanted to make sure you're aware we don't throw everything in. The Economic Development Manager, to close out this summary report, the ED Manager will also submit a future industrial lands, or FIL or PHIL grant to the U.S. Economic Development Administration. The amount is anticipated to be in excess of $50,000. It should be at least 50, but it could be higher. We'll see. We want to do that in the next 2 to 3 months. To close out my summary, Brad, would you be so kind as to, you can scroll down in that table. Actually, it's seen right in the middle. It says just above expenses, that should be a total for revenue. It's right there. Total revenue, 1,711,581.92. So about $1.7 million is projected in revenues. Let's say $1,711,000. The projected expenses, Brett, if you want to scroll down, please, sir, to the bottom of the whole sheet. there should be a number 1779265.48. That'll pop up. That's the total estimated expenses. The estimated surplus deficit of about $67,683 and some pennies, which is far under the 20% that I like to have going into a budget. I'm not going to try to do the math in my head of what percentage it is because I'll just embarrass myself. But the reality is that I think it's well south of 5%. You want to have 20% going into the fiscal year. You don't want to have more. If you have 20% or less, you can make it through the fiscal year. That's never been an issue in the 13 years. The projected indirect cost rate would be about 135.64%. I have a resolution which is very simple. The resolution be it resolved, the MRPC adopts the budget as presented. I'll be here for questions and comments, and if you have any amendments to the budget, then this is the time of the commissioners to make those. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so actually you have a resolution now for the budget. If somebody either has questions or would like to move the resolution and then ask questions, I'll entertain it either way. Okay. So I guess we have no resolution. So what's the where do we go from here, Glenn?
If no one wants to make a motion to adopt the budget revisions, then we don't have an adopted revised budget. It's just that simple.
Okay, very good.
Unless someone's trying to demute themselves, I don't know. John Celestia usually does this stuff, but I can see his ceiling in his kitchen, so he may be away. I'm not sure.
Right. I'm here. I had shut my microphone off.
Ah, you're a good man.
I would make a motion to accept those revisions if that'll trigger conversations to see, what people's thoughts are.
Okay. So your resolution that the Montezuma Regional Planning Commission adopts the budget as presented. That's that's what you moved, John?
Yes, it is.
Okay, very good. Do I have a second for discussion?
Guy, I'll second that motion.
Okay, and that was Bob Schwartz, correct?
Correct.
Okay, getting used to recognize your voice. Okay, so questions. Now, do we have anybody have any questions on the, this is the draft 2022 budget that you see there.
Oh, Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
There is one more thing. So the other half was, and I didn't have it in writing. So Brad, could you pull up the salary table, please? Thank you. I asked for that. I read my written report, did the summary, and I didn't do this part. So this is the salary table. Brad, is there a way that you can make the table larger? Because I'm seeing the agenda and the spreadsheet. Can you make just the agenda, just the spreadsheet show up? Yeah, that's a lot better. And somebody's got to holler if they can't see it. So the bottom line is that how everything adds up to the total expenses.
You make it a little bigger.
Go ahead, Brad, a little bit bigger, please. Cool, good.
I can see it.
Okay, good, John. Bob, are you okay, sir?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, thank you. So these are the budgeted figures for everybody, starting with me, ED. So the title and then the initials of the person that are in the title. So me at about $112. Now, fiscal director, Linda Quinlivan. These promotions were set in a prior meeting in June for the fiscal director and the administrative manager. That's Linda Quinlivan and Holly Ford. Fiscal assistant, We put in for about 18 and a half hours a week throughout the fiscal year, and that's the math that shows up for that person being paid at a rate of X. If you want to know rates, hourly rates, we can ask Linda Quinlivan to help us out later. Planning and development. So you can see the Director of Planning and Development is at 81,720. So you saw in the resolution that was passed earlier that although all the money's budgeted, we're starting at 78, and we want to move that person per the resolution to the 81,720 in in January. Guy Corbacero left, but he's here, so we'll get him reconnected in a minute. Principal planner, that's the row that Karen Chapman used to be in as senior planner. So we decreased that figure by about, Karen's going to have to help me, by about several thousands of dollars, and we changed the title from senior planner to principal planner. We need to replace Karen now that we've elevated her. Next one's regional planner. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
7,000.
About $7,000. Thank you, Karen. Thank you. The next one's regional planner, Jonathan Voss. That's his new salary for this fiscal year. The next one's ED manager, Chris McDermott. That's his new salary. I'm not going to repeat that all the way. So planning intern number one is tied to EDA COVID. That's if we have a planning intern, which we haven't hired yet, because I want to make sure with Linda Quinlivan that we've really got the money to do that. I strongly believe we do. So we would probably advertise for this position over the next month, look for another intern. The ED manager and the ED intern are both paid directly out of the EDA COVID grant, just so you know where that money comes from. The next 4 people are temporary part-time senior planners. There are 3 of them, and then there's 1 temporary part-time principal planner. It's Megan and Bruce and Blair and Guy's back with us, and Jen. The figures are all the same, $9,900.54. That's them working at, well, there's another number, I'm sorry, $8,999.64 for Bruce, because he's paid at a lower level as the principal planner. So those are part-time people that work about 18 and a half hours a week through this September. And when Linda and I, and shout out to Linda, thank you again for helping again with the budget today to prepare this. We had that originally at about $18,000 each, give or take, give or take about $500. And when I asked Linda to cut that was based on 6 months at part-time. And I said, let's chop that down and be a little more conservative. Let's go 3 months for those people. So we basically extracted or deleted about 9 times 4 is 30, about $30,000, roughly 30 or 31,000 we pulled out of the budget to lessen the deficit. GIS information technology, those are reflecting the salaries of 2 promotions that were done, GIS and IT director for more responsibilities and a promotion respectively for Jason and Kayla. So those are their salaries for FY22 also. You'll get used to saying that. And then the rest is transportation. Obviously Brad is the director, 3 principal planners at their respective numbers. And then we have 3 interns at those numbers of 9720. They were on for almost a year this year. Closing out with, we've had to have a layoff in transit. So the 13,291 is what the MRPC owes George Kahale for the final week of pay, plus all the leave time accrued. And you can see over there, the pay would be, growth pay is about $1,700, and then the leave time accrued is a little over $11,500. So that's the salary summary. At the bottom of the second column, where all the salaries, the total salaries are, so it's about $1,086,399.59. That number carries forward on the expense side on the main sheet that you saw about 10 minutes ago. So that's the explanation of the salaries.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. We already had the motion. Do we have any questions about the budget? I know it's pretty extensive to go over, but hopefully people have looked at it earlier. It was up on the website, correct, Glenn?
We just did these revisions this afternoon. So this is the first thing people are saying, yes. Yeah.
Hi, this is Barbara. I just want to make sure that Laura Schifrin is available for this vote.
I am.
Okay, great. Thanks, Laura. Glad you made it back.
You have
I couldn't find my charger on my phone, but I can see you on my desktop, which doesn't have audio. What can I say? So I'm seeing the screen and I'm hearing you.
Do you have any comments in regards to this, Laura, being our treasurer? Do you have any?
To be honest, I did not hear the full conversation. I asked about the conversation about Glenn. Is there any other questions? Karen?
I get every other word from Laura. I think Laura asked us, is there anything else? Basically, there were some adjustments to her promotions, a deletion of a contract, reduction in staff. There aren't any other changes. There were no changes to any expenses, and the revenues, except for the Mark contract, stayed the same. So I hope I answered the question, Laura, because I didn't hear everything.
Okay. Thank you.
Glenn, how does this compare to last year as far as expenses and a surplus deficit? How in relation, expenses are just under $1.8 million. What were we last year?
I want to say they were about $1 million or $1,050,000. $1,050,000 is the number that pops out to me. Honestly, Guy, I would have to go back to what was adopted last June and pull it up and do a compare. It's not that dissimilar. We had about $1.7 million budget last year. It's about $1.7 million this year. Linda Quinlivan, please chime in. That's my gut memory. The overhead rate's virtually identical because we're at 133 right now. So the projected for FY22 is only 2%, 2.5% different.
And that is, what is that again? I missed it. 133 or is it 135 now, or is it?
We're operating from the FY21 rate at 133, and the projected overhead rate for 22 is 133.5%. So we're about 2.5% different. The expenses, I remember vividly working with Linda and Linda Parmenter May and June, or just June, whatever. And a lot of these were cut down to the bone, with the exception of, I did say in the expenses for capital equipment, we need a new copy printer machine. We own two, one's 8 years old, one's about 10 or 12 years old. So that's really the only probably large increase. And then it's insurances that are just out of your control. Insurances are always about 10% of the total budget.
Okay, I guess we have no other questions. We did, John moved the resolution and Bob seconded it. So we do have a motion basically on the table. So if there's no other questions, I will call the roll to see if the budget is adopted. And I will start at the top of the list again with Lynn Butland.
Yes.
Okay. Barbara Yocum.
Yes.
Okay. Jessica DeRoy.
Yes.
John Telepiak. Well, I see he's muted. I might be.
Yes, Telepiak, yes. Couldn't get it.
Oh.
I'm working off the phone.
This seems to be a computer problem night for a lot of us. Laura Schifrin's muted at the moment. Matthew Brenner.
Aye.
Robert Schwartz.
Yes.
Roger Hoyt.
Yes.
Sean Copeland.
Yes.
Veronica Kell.
Yes.
And caller 00. I'm not sure who that is. Is that staff or a member? Well, in the meantime, Guy Corbisiero votes yes. And I think Laura Schifrin, she might be there in some mode, but not in we can't hear her, so the resolution passes unanimously except for one vote that cannot be made due to technical difficulty, which is Laura. So the
Guy?
budget, yes,
Guy?
yes.
I'm looking at the chat and Laura votes yes.
Okay, very good. I'm glad we got it. I didn't even think of that. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate you looking at that.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, because I can't bring that up, otherwise I'd lose the list of people I have here that I call off of. Okay, Glenn. A nice having paper. I guess I'm old school. So we did the budget revisions. What else do you have, Glenn, in your part of administrative matters?
I'm done, sir. I have no other administrative matters. When the budget is usually on, that usually takes about 30 minutes, and I don't want to talk anymore, and I don't have anything pressing. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good.
This is Barbara, may I add an administrative matter? Does that go into the end of the meeting?
No, I can't see why you can't bring it up here. Why, is it to do with Glenn or to Glenn to answer?
I think it's for Glenn to address.
Yes.
So there have been a number of staff changes, and I've noticed on the website for the MRPC that the MRPC members, the commissioners, has not been updated since about 2019. And I just wanted to make sure that these new changes, the new staff members and the commissioners, get updated on the webpage for MRPC.
Yes, good point. So I know Holly well enough to know that she just made a note of that, and she's demuting, and I'm sure she's going to address the staff, the commissioners. Thank you, Holly, but keep talking a minute, Holly. The staff changes have been made with the exception of Mr. Kahali, because Mr. Kahali's on the payroll through tomorrow. But Holly, rock and roll.
I'm still working on getting the appointment forms back for FY22. As soon as we have all those, we can make the updates to all the commissioners. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you, Glenn and Holly.
Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, very good. Do we have any other thing? If not, well, we'll move on to status reports. And also at the end, we always have the old business or new business type of question. So what I'm going to do here, let's see, it's 8:07 now, running a little behind, but that's usual. I will read off the topics. If anybody has any questions, please speak up. Don't worry if I go past 3 of them, but before you get unmuted, because with these complications, I can understand. We can bear with it. So on the status report, we start with 5.1 Geographic Information System. And actually, we have Mr. Mobile and mobile apps. Community related, Crocker Pond Recreation Area Trail Mapping, Lunenburg Conservation Land Maps, Boylston Parcel Updates, Sterling Complete Streets, ADA Compliance Checklist Survey Creation. Then that's one within comprehensive planning related. Sorry, I missed a line. Number 2 is the Athol Exchange Street abutters mapping. 3, Hubbardston Master Plan Land Use. 4, Leominster Open Space and Recreation Plan Mapping Update. 5, North Lancaster 40R Smart Growth Overlay District. It's a DLTA project. Townsend Master Plan Mapping, also a DLTA project. That's ongoing. Now, under transportation related, we have 1, Data Collection and Analysis Program, 2, Fitchburg Corridor Study, 3, walkability study. 4, regional pedestrian plan. And 5, GIS mapping and analysis. If no questions there, we'll move on to transit related under this category. Mart Human Services Transportation Brokerage Area Map Update. Mart Intercity Shuttle Map Update. Mart Route Calculations. And Mart Bus Stop Digital Survey. Okay, that's those are the GIS projects. Flip a page and we move on to planning and development. I don't know those that have their handout handy. It's a little different format here, but under planning and development, Federal Economic Development Administration, EDA. Oh, I see he's bringing it up on the screen as I'm reading this off of the hard copy I have. Now we have the different tasks here. Met Inc. Project planning. That's task 1. These are the different projects, I guess, within the squares there. Again, we go up, task 1 is all those 3 different squares are MEC project planning. And then task 2, provide municipal technical assistance preparing communities and economic development grant requests. And this is the from the EDU award number. So these, I guess, are the different tasks that they're going to be doing with it. If whoever wants to jump in, please do. If you want any comments to this. Task 3, continue increasing public and private sector participation. Task 4, maintain the regional SEDS. Yeah, actually, there was a great SEDS program about 2 weeks ago that the MRPC put on. It was very interesting about Fitchburg and all the great things downtown Fitchburg are doing. I found it very interesting and got a lot of information out of it. So anybody who wants to go find that on the website and take a look at it, it might give you a bunch of ideas about grants that you might be able to go for in your town. And then we go to the Federal Economic Development Administration, EDA award number, and also referring to as MRPC's EDA COVID-19 grant. A full review of the region's comprehensive economic development strategy SEDS continues. In recent months, the 219 report tables and underpinning data were reviewed and updated to reflect the latest available information. Now, again, as he has up there, the tasks, the different tasks they have, recurring and onboard economic development manager, July through September, public outreach. I'm just reading off some of the subheadings. 30-day public comment period within this, and hire a marketing survey consultant, December 2020, and it gives the whole plan here. Then we go into the Federal Environmental Protection Agency Montechusett Regional Brownfield Assessment Program. And I think this 3-year grant has already been given out. But we're going to pursue additional funds this fall. So,
yeah, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Glenn, please go ahead.
Just to augment that. So even though we've gone through a departure and a promotion in about a month, you will notice at the bottom of every status report for the last year or so, it said, please contact a certain staff member as a team leader. So for right now, during the transition, I'm going to oversee the EPA Brownfields grant. The reality is that we're talking about some quarterly reports. Linda Q is all over the drawdown stuff and the financials. I'll be working with her. But I'm reaching out to the consultant. The consultant has offered to take on some of the tasks also. So I just want to make sure that we're fulfilling all of our contractual obligations. So this is the only project in planning and development on which I'm working. And then Karen Goshlover, officially on the 26th, she's got all the rest. But she's been doing a lot already on all of these.
Okay, any questions on that? Thank you, Glenn. Okay, then I'll move on to the district local technical assistance. You all know as DLTA. We have the Ashburnham Land Use Master Plan chapter, and Ashburnham again, infrastructure mapping, water distribution systems, sanitary systems, and storm drainage infrastructure. Air, create build-out study for parcels in downtown Air, Park Street Foreign-Based Code District. Harvard, MRPC will create a substantial transportation plan and agricultural staff study. Then we move on to Hubbardston, Town Center Overlay District bylaw. Lancaster, a 40-hour development village district bylaw. And then we go to Leominster under the DLTA for open space and recreation plan mapping. Neshoba Regional Greenways. This project involves managing public outreach, coordinating meetings, and developing marketing materials for this group to fulfill its mission to illuminate bike and pedestrian assets. Petersham, Nicolog Inn and Academy redevelopment evaluation. And Royalston, MRPC will continue working to prepare a bylaw for assisted living and multifamily housing needs, to prepare a bylaw which will increase potential small business opportunities. Shirley, MRPC will assess the feasibility of the creation of a as-of-right zoning district, such as those eligible under the Mass Department of 40-hour smart growth status, including starter homes. In Sterling, MRPC will complete a streamlined permitting guidebook. Townsend, MRPC will create maps for the Townsend Master Plan update and 24 to 32 hours of planning consulting for questions and review updates of relevant regional data. Then that's all the list of towns, but then we go into community needs assessment reports for Haywood Group and Health Alliance UMass. And this is team leader there is Blair Hanley. And the Massachusetts Department of Energy Resources, MRPC is assisting our communities through the administrative costs associated with community grant awards. And then we move to the heading of Mass Department of Energy Resources, Affordable Access Regional Coordination. And this is a grant in the amount of $104,000. Health Aging Tough Momentum Fund. And this is a $10,000 grant. Health Aging Tough Fund. This is was awarded to $75,000. And I think we've gone over these in previous meetings. Massachusetts Department of Transportation, More Rides Planning Project. MEC was awarded $48,000 by the Mass DOT. And MRPC is contracted to do the work, as we had discussed in earlier meetings. Massachusetts Department of Transportation, Winchton Volunteer Drive Planning Project. Again, this is another ongoing project that we touched on previously. And Sterling Complete Streets. Mass DOT Complete Streets Funding Program provides technical assistance and construction funding to eligible municipalities. I gotta say, a lot of our communities have been taking advantage of the Mass DOT Complete Streets. I know Winchendon has. Executive Office of Energy and Environmental Affairs, Planning Assistance Grant. And MRPC received a Planning Assistance Grant in December 2019, the amount of $48,000 to complete 5 master plan chapters for the town of Hubbardston. EEA Planning Assistance Grant, FY21. Another grant we received, Planning Assistance Grant, November 2020, amount of $98,000 on behalf of Athol, Hubbardston, and Sterling. That contract ends, next June 30th. So then we have Athol for $40,000, Hubbardston for $18,000, Sterling for $40,000. And they also, on each I read within the handout, they do have updates on the project. So if it's your town, check it out. And then we move into 5.3 transit. MRPC staff is working on the following projects: supportive transportation planning operations, referred to as 3C, which is defined as comprehensive, cooperative, and continuing transportation planning project. They're working on that project. Under that is Orange, Lancaster, and to deal with public meetings. Then we have technical assistance to MART, provide technical planning services. And then we go the fare collection system. In developing a request for proposals. And then bus stop ADA, number 3, accessibility evaluation. In the past month, MRPC staff created a digital survey that can be completed out in the field using a personal tablet to compile data on the path to accessibility transit infrastructure. Okay, that's, if no questions there, that's all on transportation. I have 2 more pages here, so please bear with me. 5.4, again, transportation, and these are the transportation committees. Montechusett Joint Transportation Committee, the MJTC met on June 9th, and the nominating committee met, presented a slate of officers. The election would be held was supposed to be held July 14th, but the MJTC meeting for July was canceled, so the vote will be held in August. And then we move on to the, do we have any comments there from staff on the MJTC? Not hearing any, I'll go to the MPO. The MPO didn't meet in June. They canceled that meeting, but they will be meeting next Wednesday, 1 o'clock. If anybody's interested in zooming in. There is a lot of information that comes out of these meetings that you don't get almost anywhere else. So it'd be nice to monitor one of these. I think you'd be well pleased. And the Unified Planning Works Program, FFY 2021. The MRPC has begun work on various tasks, including the FFY 2021 UPWI, which runs from October 1st to September 30th. And under the Unified Planning, we've gone over these each month, but I'll just hit the highlights. A supportive 3C, and just list the staff here. Then number 2, GIS mapping analysis program to conduct a GIS work and support. Then we go to number 3, data collection and analysis program to collect and analyze various data sources in support of studies in regional databases. Number 4, walkability study, program to improve walkability, as it's kind of self-explanatory. 5, Fitchburg corridor study. Program to review and identify issues and deficiencies along Route 12 corridor in Fitchburg. And then we go on to 6, regional pedestrian planning. Program to develop a regional pedestrian plan. 7, ADA Proud database. Program to develop, provide technical assistance to the member communities with issues related to public right of way. So that explains what elements in their ADA plans. So leading to a, yes, did I hear somebody? No, guess not. Let's hope it. Okay, then we have, that pretty well does it out till we get to new business. Do we have anything that anybody would like to bring up under new business? Not hearing anything, I just want to make one comment. Tonight's meeting, we're going to do the hybrid, whatever. We've had a lot of glitches here, but I'm looking here at a big screen that we're going to set up and have it, so that you can see everything on a big screen. But those didn't work out. So hopefully next month, and hopefully a few more people will venture out to come here, because it is nice to have paper in your hand. The only thing is I'm working off my little notebook and it just doesn't have the power, so that's why you don't see me. I stopped the video because it kept crashing my computer. So it's worked pretty well with just the mic. Do I have any questions, comments from anybody?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. This is Laura
Yes, Laura.
Schifrin. I would feel remiss if I didn't explain something to the board in reference to Karen Chapman. I don't know how many of you have met her or who have any past experience with her and know her capabilities. But one of the things I did not hear Glenn say while he was talking about her was that even in her first year with MRC, and Glenn, you can chime in, she brought in grants that were double her salary. So she is an asset. That I've worked with her on the housing authority and for many years, and she just, her background is phenomenal. We were very, very, very sorry to see her leave Townsend, but she is, so just so that you all know, she is a worthwhile asset for MRC and our entire region. If Veronica is still on, she would back me up with that, as both of us are from Townsend. So congratulations to Karen, but more so congratulations to the region and to those that work with at MRP. Congratulations to her and to MRC. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
That's great. Thank you for the glowing review of Karen. And Karen, she'll have some big shoes to fill, because Linda Parmenter was a whirlwind, but I know Karen can do it, and do it with flair.
She's replacing John Hume, just as a clarification.
What's that?
Karen's following John Hume.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Just for the record, I just want to make sure we're clear.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Oh, you're most welcome. I really wish you'd never left Townsend. You know that. They're better for you and for the whole region now. They get to experience how great you are. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Karen's brought in more than $2 million in the last 2 or 3 years. Karen, you know the number to the penny, and please throw it out there for the record if you wish.
2.3 million for our communities, for green communities.
Thank you.
You are that always said that. Oh God. You were meant for bigger things.
Great. Now, is there anything else? If not, I will,
Mr. Chairman?
yes.
Okay. Glenn?
Yeah.
In reference to, and Veronica's still on, maybe she can clarify a little bit from the Board of Selectmen's meeting in relation to a grant that's out there for charging stations. And I don't know a lot about it. And are we charging stations for sales trail, things like that? And I wonder if you could expound upon it, because I'm always very much in favor of being able to obtain grant money. But I also am very astute to the fact that grant money is not free. Grant money is derived from taxpayers, which means us, all of us. And so when taxpayer dollars are used for grant money, to me, I like something that the majority of the people will benefit. And could someone clarify to me about this grant for charge stations?
Laura, you broke up a lot. I think your question was about clarifying a grant, the name I didn't get, for EV charging stations for EV electric vehicles, but I didn't get the name of the grant, and I'm going to ask Karen to chime in also because it's not my bailiwick. What's the name of that grant
Okay.
again?
Monica, you spoke about it at the Board of Selectmen's meeting.
Aaron, do you want to go first or do you want me to talk?
Sure, I can go first.
All right.
So yeah, DOER, if you're a green community, you can get up to $7,500 per charging station, and you can get up to 2. The state DOER, Department of Energy Resources, also has an EV program that you can get money as well. And the utilities also have a lot of rebates. So if you're a green community, there's that way. If you go the other way, it's more money out of the town's pocket. But if you want to email me or call me, I can talk offline with you.
Okay, sure, but doesn't it all the 6 towns in our region? Or
I'm
does it
sorry,
not?
you were breaking up.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just a tough technical night. Is it just for green community, or does that represent most of our region as MRP?
So out of our 22 communities, 20 are green communities.
Okay.
So under that program, if you go under the state's EV program, any community can apply for that. But it costs more if you go in that direction.
Okay, well, that doesn't, I just have a big concern about the rising cost of gas.
There's a lot of background noise with someone.
Right. Mr. Chairman, I would move that we end the meeting.
Well, do we have any other questions? Well, if not, I will call, as going by the rules for small meetings, I will call this meeting adjourned at 8:34. Everybody, thank you very much for your participation, and maybe next month we'll have a few more in the office here, and we'll really try and get this hybrid working, because I know in Winchendon we'd like to do it. So if we can work out some kinks, it'd be great to pass on to our own communities. So thank you, everybody, for your participation.
Thank you all. Good night.
Good night.